All right, yes, yes, and more yeses right now, live from 20 Mile Tap House, and this is going to be a good one. Buckle up and get ready. It is a Thursday, May 28th, and it happens to be my mom's birthday.
Happy birthday, Pat.
She's the number one groupie right behind us here.
Happy birthday, Pat.
We love you, Mom. She'll probably be on make an appearance today. In the meantime, we're going to get right to it. Brother Luck at 2:15. Then we've got some other good stuff for you. But the top of the hour, Larry Herz joins us, and we're going to do something unique right now. We're going to combine two shows. Yep. What's for lunch? And we're going to do What's for Lunch right now. So just take it away and introduce this gentleman to us.
Good afternoon, Colorado. I'm Larry Herz, your host for What's for Lunch. Today we are going remote from 20 Mile Tap House. My good friend Jeff Hellner here. Jeff, welcome.
Thank you.
Tell us a little bit about the history of 20 Mile Tap House.
Well, we've been here since April 1st, 2013. It's been a great 7 years. Colorado-centric tap list, 18 beers on tap from Colorado. Scratch Kitchen. That's kind of who we are and what we do, I guess.
Jeff is, as you know, I'm a big fan. It's my favorite burger in the city, and today is National Burger Day.
Happy National Burger Day.
Tell us about the food that is in front of me right now.
Well, right now we've got the Ringer Burger. It's one of our most popular. It's half-pound burger, never frozen, always fresh, smashed on the flat top, well-seasoned, cooked to order, 2 onion rings, bacon, cheddar cheese, house-cut fries, and a toasted brioche bun, one of our most popular burgers. And over here we've got piggy wings, which are our featured dish of the month. It's pork shank, your choice of sauce.
What sauce did you put on there?
That's the spicy Thai that we make here in-house.
Okay.
Delicious.
So you drive by this place, you think nothing. You just drive by it. You're like, whatever, 20-mile dive bar. And you walk in, and first of all, it's clean. And then you eat, and you're like, what the heck is going on here? He surprises people all the time. And, Greg, this was your first time eating here, right, today with
Yes.
Mom. They do brunch, late-night food, and just a wide variety, and everything is good. And buffalo chicken sliders, phenomenal.
Yep, crispy buffalo chicken sliders, one of our most popular dishes.
Yeah.
Yep.
And then tell me about brunch. What do you do for brunch?
We do a great brunch. We're open from 8 a.m. till noon for brunch. We do everything from a breakfast burrito, chimichanga.
The breakfast chimichangas.
It's great. Yeah, it's a big seller to
pancakes, right?
Pancakes, French toast, stuffed French toast. We do eggs Benedict, traditional breakfast, just a number of items to choose from.
And you do that Saturday and Sunday,
Saturday
8
and Sunday,
to 12?
8 a.m. to noon, yep.
Yeah. And
during that time, we also offer from 8 a.m. to noon, 2-for-1 Bloody Marys, 2-for-1 mimosas, 2-for-1 Greyhounds, 2-for-1 draft beers. Yeah.
So when this COVID hit, you decided to shut down, right?
Yeah, we decided to shut down, take a minute to kind of assess the situation, understand kind of what we were going through. Took a few weeks to work through that, and then we opened up for takeaway after that. And
then just Saturday you were able to reopen, and
yeah, Saturday Douglas County got a variance that was approved. I was actually camping at Cherry Creek Reservoir and woke up, scrolling through Facebook, saw we could open. So took a quick trip home to Castle Rock, took a shower, got dressed, cruised back to work. Made some phone calls, got some staff in. Everybody was super excited to get back open, and we opened by 11 a.m. that day. So,
and how's it been going?
It's been great. We had a really busy weekend. Customers have been fantastic. Challenging weekend for sure from a product perspective because we didn't intend to be open. Yep. So had to do some running around to do that, some last-minute staffing situations. Ran out of pretty much all of the beer we had because we weren't selling much beer before that. And super busy weekend, and kind of got restocked, reloaded on Tuesday. So,
are you doing regular hours now?
They're a little bit abbreviated. We're closing at 11 o'clock currently. We're going to stay open until midnight, Saturday and Sunday this week, kind of see how that goes. Can't have the bands that we typically had inside, with what's going on.
Are you planning on bands outside?
Yeah, we're going to probably bring bands back out on the patio in a couple of weeks after we really get good at what we're doing with the social distancing and everything else.
And how has the public responded? Are they following the rules? And
public's been great. They're following the rules. They're excited to be back out in public and feeling semi-normal again. And it's been very busy and very good.
because you're not a reservation place, so it's a little harder to control when people come. And so how are you managing that at the door?
So we're posting a person at the door to greet everybody and find out how many in the party and make sure that we have a table for them. If we don't, we ask them to wait outside or in their vehicle. We can text them when their table's ready. Typically, we haven't been on much of a wait. It's just been a nice, steady flow where we've got 1 or 2 tables open. We're in the process of extending our patio into our neighbor's patio space, which has been great, and the town and Department of Revenue are looking to approve that probably tomorrow, so just in time for the weekend.
That'd be great. Greg, you got any questions for him?
I have a lot of questions.
All right.
First of all, this is your neighborhood restaurant bar,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
So as we look behind us, we have folks here enjoying. It must feel good, right, to see this.
It feels good.
This is the business you got into.
We are a big part of the community here, and we have a very loyal following of great guests who are so grateful we're reopened. We are so grateful that they are coming back, and it feels so good to kind of get back to normal business. So
and I mentioned the neighborhood feel, right? Everybody has their neighborhood.
Oh, this is a
restaurant
Cheers
bar.
for sure.
yeah.
So working under those guys, and we've got guidance, right? It's called guidance for a
Yes.
reason.
Yeah,
But does it work everywhere? I mean, it's a cookie cutter type of situation for a very large, diverse.
Yeah.
So I mean, let's look into that. So as we go in, and thanks for joining us on the stream here today. We're going to cover a lot of ground. But I want to talk about those nuances for your local family neighborhood place. Your customers all know each other.
Our customers, it is a gathering place for friends who like to meet up and have lunch together, dinner, enjoy happy hour. Talk.
God forbid, stand up from one table and go to another table.
Yeah.
That's the thing I was
my
worried about.
goodness. So a lot of restaurants, and they're taking requests for reservations, and people come in, and it's your party of 6, and you sit down, and that's the way that it's supposed to be, and then you leave, put your mask on, you go home. It's hard to juggle that in this type of environment to where Sally knows Ann and Bob knows Bill, and those folks, they could live with each other, but there was a different. You see where I'm going with this. That's a difficult thing to manage for a family neighborhood place to where people want to go in and eat and gather and socialize. There's going to have to be a bit of leniency in that sense. How do you juggle that?
We do our best. We kind of manage it the best we can and create the environment that's safe for everyone to be in, while at the same time it's difficult for us to say, hey, no, you can't go talk to your friend at the table 2 tables
So do you
away
actually
from you
treat
across
people
the
like
room.
adults with the honor system, and it's like, what's best, be cool.
We do.
Things will loosen up, but for right now, let's be tolerant of what it is. And it's going to be difficult for a lot of these restaurants in local neighborhoods, to where this is where people went to go get their after-work beer, or their lunch beer, or have lunch, and so it's interesting as we go into the local restaurant today in 20 Mile Tab House. You got a lot of folks that I can imagine want to just let their hair down, especially being cooped up for so long. So it's going to be interesting. You pulled your pool tables.
We did pull our pool tables, obviously with social distancing and the need to separate tables between 6 and 8 feet apart. We needed more seating, so
where are they?
we asked our
come pick them up.
Our friends at Entertainment Experts to come pick up the pool tables for the time being, so
then the games.
And the games are shut down, so that's one of the guidelines: is no pool, no games, no arcade, none of that. So it allowed us to fit basically 24 seats in that space. So
that's good.
It was important to do that.
Outside dining as well.
Outside dining, yep. We've spaced out our patio quite a bit. We've got a pretty big patio, so that's nice. And then we do have a lot of patio space next to us, so we were able to kind of disperse tables out into that area as well.
I'm very
create more
interested in
seating.
following that. I'm interested in this burger, too.
Yeah.
So.
Are you going to have some?
Well,
I'll cut it in half.
Okay, well, you can't really move yet.
I can't move yet?
No, just go ahead, bite into it.
Snap your fingers. Omar likes that.
Omar doesn't. Nobody likes that, Larry.
He's the best.
Nobody
Love
likes
me some
that.
Omar. Thanks
brother.
buddy. So this is we're going to finish my show, and then you could go back to your show. So at this part of my show, I say, how can people get your food? You open for takeout, delivery?
We're open for dine-in. We're open for takeout. We deliver through DoorDash currently, and you can.
They go to your website, right?
Yep, you can order online from our website. You can call it in.
What's the website?
20miletaphouse.com, 20miletaphouse.com.
And can they call in orders?
They can call in orders.
Do you know the phone number?
303-841-6782.
I'm telling you, I do this every day. Nobody knows the phone number of their restaurant. I'm like, how is that possible?
Right?
You're built for this, Jeff.
I'm built for this.
You're doing great.
All right, that's your half.
All right. Let's get in on this. Oh,
and
my God.
thank you
Did
so
you
much
get
for
your
having
other-
us.
Yeah.
And this is where I say, let's eat.
Let's
This
eat.
is everything you
Get
want.
it in there.
Jeff, you're going to have to actually talk. Well,
It looks really good. Watch out for that pick.
Now you know.
How's that?
perfect. Happy National Burger Day.
Happy National Burger Day, everyone. Yeah.
This is why this is my favorite burger, because they do everything just right. Fresh meat, smash it down, griddle the bun. So many people don't griddle the bun.
right.
You just keep it simple. It's not
Brush
that
it with
complicated.
butter, throw it on the flat top, get it nice and toasty.
I want to stop the show and just continue on with that.
Finish that.
Yeah.
Jeff, the hospitality is fantastic. It's great to hear a
Thank
little
you.
bit of laughter behind us.
Right?
Folks are here enjoying themselves. My mom's having a happy birthday. It's been 9 weeks since she's been out. This is like one of the best days.
Wow.
Isn't that really cool?
That's great. Yeah.
And,
I'm honored to be the first outing for her.
It's
Yes.
just- and it means the world to her, too. So
That's great.
As we embark on the show today, we've got to thank you for your hospitality, and I'd love to come back a lot.
Yeah, please do.
Absolutely.
We'd love to
Thanks
have
for
you.
turning us on to 20 Mile Tap House, Larry.
Yeah.
Yeah. And as good as the food is, he's going to hate me for saying this. He's a better person.
I put
Thanks,
out a
Larry.
poll. Have you gone out to eat yet since restaurants have opened? Yes, is it 12? No, is it 12? 13? 14? Folks are going out to eat. Support your local places.
People are going out in Parker, that's for sure. Castle Rock as well, yep.
I love it.
I see Chef Brother Luck. You got to get him on What's for Lunch.
Is Chef Brother Luck joining us yet?
They're working on it.
Yeah. Jay Parker.
All right, I'm going to take a break, and I'll see you guys a little later.
Sure. Or you want to stick around and talk to Brother?
No, I'll let Jeff talk to Brother.
Cheers, Larry.
Brother Luck's coming on. This is going to be really, really cool. Jeff, this is Jeff Hellner and 20 Mile Tap House. Cool guy, man. I mean, you meet the owners and operators of these local restaurants, and you just go to yourself, this is the salt of the earth. These are people we want to hang out with. Come on over here with me. Talk to Brother. Brother Luck's standing by. Colorado Springs Restaurant. You talk about the ingredients that you use in scratch kitchen, that kind of thing. It's not an easy thing to pull off.
It is not. It requires a lot of prep every day, a lot of labor hours, a lot of making sure you're getting the right product in. It can't be subbed a lot of the time because it's not what our guests expect.
Yeah, good food is important. And that's one of the things throughout, as you open and throughout the years, and some folks figure out how to cut corners, and they go that direction. And then there's other people who are like, nope, I'm staying right down this lane.
Yeah,
And
you gotta
your
stay the
menu is
course.
very diverse. I mean, it's long and lengthy. So through the shutdowns, you've kept your menu the way that it is. And
We have. We've kept our entire menu. We pride ourselves on cross-utilizing ingredients, so it's always fresh. We can, we get in tri-tip that we roast slowly, and we use that for 4 different dishes. So we go through it quickly, and it allows us to always keep it fresh.
He knows about cross-utilization. I think he's at 4 by Brother Luck in Cherry Creek, in Colorado Springs. And welcome back to the show, Brother Luck. It is so good to see your face, my friend. How are you?
What's going on? What's happening?
We're just hanging out at 20 Mile Tap House like everybody else should be at a restaurant supporting them. You're going to be ramping up here and getting ready to get ready. I thought it was important that folks hear from you and what's your plan for reopening, brother.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, it's a concern for everybody. But we've been given the green lights here in El Paso County to open up full service as far as following the stipulations, the guidelines. 50-person maximum, social distancing practices, all that good stuff. So we closed down for the week. We focused on training with both of our restaurants. And then we're going to open up Lucky Dumpling tomorrow for dine-in service, lunch and dinner. We'll also be doing curbside pickup. And then starting Saturday, we've opened up reservations for dine-in, obviously on a much limited capacity. But, we're just not – the challenge was how long do you sit idle? We feel at this point, we feel that, we've been given the green lights from our officials, then let's move forward.
It's like you're one of those Peloton guys. I don't know how you do it. You jump on a Peloton. But if you put it down for a couple, 2-3 months, and jumping back on it, it's not an easy thing to do. Muscle memory is there, and for you, I'm sure you're ready to get back at it. But what are some of the challenges for you and your staff to actually get back in that groove? Do you just go slow your roll?
Yeah, we've done a lot of work in the downtime as far as like redesigning our kitchen layout. Getting some projects done. We just finished up a new bar top here at 4 and doing the back shelf. So, we're still staining, we're still sanding, we're still trying to get all that stuff done as well. And then as far as, operating, it's there's certain people that weren't able to return. They had to pursue other positions. They had to pursue other careers to be able to make ends meet, and that throws a wrench because you've lost a lot of great cooks. You've lost great servers. You've got to retrain essentially a whole new team, and that's something that's a reality for most of us.
A lot of people are trying to get variances for seating and outdoor seating and make up for lost seating indoors. Here at 20 Mile Tap House, he had to pull his pool tables in order to get some more seating in here. Are you going to be able to open up at anything that would be normal capacity to you, and how long would it take to you to get to that point?
Yeah, our city's been really good. Our city officials have been really good about, extending the or expediting the process as far as being able to do more patios. So, like Lucky Dumpling's getting ready to open up with a patio. And then, when it comes to Four's got a pretty large capacity. So we're very fortunate that we don't depend on a ton of volume to support that restaurant. That restaurant's more about doing the check average that we do. So having a 50% occupancy or 50-person capacity is not going to kill Four too much. Lucky Dumpling, on the other hand, is a much smaller restaurant. So, for them to lose a lot of their seating and only be able to do, 20 people in there at a time, it's going to be tough. So we're trying to figure out outdoor spacing and, what makes sense.
Neighborhood places. We're in a very neighborhood restaurant bar. Great food, by the way. If you ever get a chance in Parker, stop by and see Jeff here at 20 Mile Tap House. Do you have a neighborhood watering hole? I think a lot of people go to Four for that same sense. You have a great bar. People come through. But those neighborhood places where people want to socialize and they know, John at the table down the way, is it going to be hard to manage or juggle those things for folks that know each other and want to be close to each other?
Yeah, of course. And I think that's why you see so many restrictions on bars right now is because they know, you're going to linger and you're going to want to engage with other groups and parties. The restaurant restrictions that we're getting are, we don't want the tables to interact with other tables. It's kind of like come in with your own social group and, let's get through this next phase. So we can get back to some type of normalcy where, you're able to come in and have that social gathering and really get to enjoy each other. But it's just one of the reasons why they're not letting us sit customers at our bars if we're making cocktails. It's,
Is that what it is? It just cocktails? Because that's so murky to me.
Food and beverage. Yeah, food and beverage.
Yeah.
If you're preparing food or beverage is how we read it.
How about if you just hand somebody a beer and they crack it open themselves and you don't have any?
Yeah, that's different. There's no preparation involved in that. You're taking a sanitized or closed container and presenting it to someone and allowing them to open it up and have the contact.
A lot of these things, it's just you look at them and you go, well, gosh, it doesn't make much sense to me. I don't even know what this is really about.
It's challenging to interpret, that's for sure, yeah.
It sure is. And you look at bars, and I went to eat at Sierra the other night, and they had a couple people at the bar. So it's like I don't know as a consumer what's right. It's like just sit down and shut up and eat some food, I guess, at this point.
Yeah, I mean the challenge right now is perception.
All
You know,
optics, isn't it?
there's it truly is, and there's a lot of businesses that are taking this extremely serious, and you know we want to be the example as one of those on following those guidelines and not putting anyone at risk or being someone that's going against the grain. But it is about the visuals. You know, do you have the floor measures to show the 6 feet? Do you have the sanitizer for them to utilize when they walk in the door? Is your staff constantly washing their hands? You know, we even thought about, we have three hand sinks on our dining room floor at Fort by Brother Luck. So, things like that we're being very aware of. But even yesterday, the staff brought up, what about water pitchers? You know, to have a community water pitcher and pour multiple tables is almost something that we need to do away with, because it's kind of shared in a sense. Presetting tables. So we can't preset tables, so we're going to transition to roll-ups. Just so many things.
We'd like to get down there and see you and broadcast from 4 by Brother Luck next week if you'll have us.
Of course. You guys are always welcome.
Well, thank you so much. We promise not to eat you out of house and home. Speaking of eating,
as long as you stop calling me at midnight.
Did I call you last night at midnight?
Yeah. Well, you gave me a prank call as my grandmother.
It was 10 p.m. and yes, I did have a Manhattan or 3. Brother, thanks, man. Is your menu going to be ramped up to what it usually is? Are you paring it down, or what are you doing?
No, I sat down with Blake actually today from Rocky Mountain Organic Farms, Grey Wolf Resort, and him and I had a really good conversation regarding the future of what menus are going to look like. And for us, we're already anticipating with the decline in supplies and getting away from as much commodity items that are out there. Our menus are going to transition to a lot more vegetarian options. They're going to transition to lesser protein portions. And really writing the menus on a daily, if not weekly basis based on availability from our ranchers and farmers in the area. So, we're talking a lot of CSA baskets. We're talking a lot of local farmers that can supply people like Mary from Triple M Bar with her lamb. This is where our menu is going to constantly change based on what's available. He told me, he's like, I got 5 pig heads. Well, send them down. I'll use them.
Yeah, obviously a different creature, right, with 20 Mile. But,
yeah, very different.
Burger. How much did you say it was?
Geez, it's gone up to about $6.30 a pound when we were paying about $2.30 a pound. Yeah, so
I mean, should even back
significant.
Back up, but you're not passing along that cost anymore.
No, we're not. We're just eating it right now. Yeah.
Yeah, boy.
Yeah, and it's how sustainable is that? I mean, the pricing that is coming in the market right now is insane, and I've just always been a very big fan of what's happening as far as this is forcing us to talk to smaller vendors and smaller ranchers and smaller farmers. And, the bigger discussion in this is we have to ease up some of these USDA guidelines as far as, people being able to slaughter, because we have tons of animals, but they don't have anywhere to process them. And that's the biggest issue is there's so many restrictions and regulations on that.
Yeah, and honestly, some of the folks that we work with as purveyors and local ranches and farms, is that I wouldn't mind keeping those out of the larger packing plants too. Go with the Sunny Sides and the West Cliffs and, get it into the packaging plants that have low volume in there right now.
Mm-hmm. And there's just not enough abundance right now. So, these farmers and ranchers have beautiful animals, but they can't resell them if they don't get that stamp, and it's a shame.
All right, it's always hard to tell, man. Excitement. What's that face look like? I don't know. Can't tell.
My RBF is always real.
You got the RBF going.
But it's a mixture of everything. I'm excited. I'm nervous. I keep catching all these changes and forgiveness for the PPP loan, and that stressed me out because they're changing guidelines 7 weeks into it. It's disgusting. Like, there's so many elements that are happening beyond just the food right now, and we're all just trying to survive and make it through this time.
Gosh, good to hear from you, brother. We'll catch up with you next week. We'll call you after the show. Well, no, I got to be mindful of dinner service now. We got so used to being able to get a hold of you. Now you're going to be busy as ever. I will politely text.
I got a private room you guys can go in.
Okay, cool. Very cool. But we want to show all the great things that you're doing down there. Maybe,
of course.
Maybe we'll do it from the street.
I'll have
Brother
Greg
Luck.
call you at 1:59 to 14 a.m.
Yeah, I'll call you at 2 a.m. tonight.
Yeah,
You take my
I'm not
car.
going to answer.
Here's the poll. Have you gone out to eat yet since restaurants have opened? Yes at 36 and no at 56. So folks are going out to eat. They're probably not at the pace we'd want them to, but let's get them back out, make them feel comfortable, and show them that experience that I know we can all build.
Absolutely.
All right, brother. See you soon. All right, peace. We're going to take a quick break. This isn't so bad, is it? Kind of cool to hear from some other folks and their perspectives of what they're doing. Mm-hmm. I think we're going to head to Grand Junction. You can jump up anytime you want. I like having you here. So if you want, we're going to go to Grand Junction and talk to Brian Freeman. Is he with Josh Nurnberg in Grand Junction?
Yeah, he is. So I kind of put him at like 3:35. They were going to do 3:45. I'm sorry, 2:45. I said, 2:35. But he's kind of running around now, so if you want me to say jump in, we play some commercials and then jump to him?
Let's do that.
Okay. Who do you want me to play? I got to cue it, you know?
You do it, Mr. Producer Man.
Okay, you know. We're going to
Where's that
we're
burger?
going to hear from
Happy National
Colorado
Burger Day.
They took it away.
I know. Don't take away my burger. Jeff's here.
Jeff, I don't know if you use sunflower oil to fry up French fries, man, but it could change your life. That's all I'm saying.
No, we use
and Encore Energy.
soybean oil. Yeah.
We're going to get oily, and we're going to put some natural gas in you. Stand by, you guys. We'll be right back to the show.
Hey, it's Zach, Colorado Mills. Many of you use this oil. Thank you. You're supporting a family-owned, farmer-owned, woman-owned company that supports 120 farms in southeast Colorado to grow the crop so we can produce this oil. So thank you. It's summertime. It's time for salads. It's time for dressings. Use this instead of extra virgin olive oil. It's got a cleaner profile. It's a healthier profile. It allows the herbs, the spices, the vinegars to really shine. So you can find it at Shamrock Foods, What Chefs Want, and Seattle Fish. Thank you very much.
Hey guys, it's Brian Rizzuto with Encore Energy, the guy who saves your businesses money on natural gas. I know these are crazy, crazy times right now. So while your business is working on increasing your sales, let me work on saving you guys money on your natural gas. I make it as easy as possible. Just provide 12 months worth of natural gas bills to me. I'll do the rest. I know you're really busy, so let me get to work for you. You can reach me at 720-245-5771. I look forward to hearing from you guys, and let me try to save you some money in these crazy times. Bye.
All right, here we go, and why not? We can continue from 20 Mile Tap House, and got Jeff Hellner here with me, and he's going to stick around for one more segment. I said, come on, Jeff, stick around. I'm just trying to open you up to this, man. Maybe we'll be back a couple more times. Let's go right now. We'll zoom to Grand Junction, and that's where these gentlemen are. Getting them on the stream right now. I don't know if they can see us, but I'm looking for them. And we've got Brian Freeman. I think he's with Chef Josh Nurnberg, but I don't see their faces yet.
He just fell off.
Oh, he just fell off. No problem. As you heard from Chef Brother Luck there, and he's kind of getting ramped up to reopen, and a little different with kind of the dining thing and the experience. But here we are in a neighborhood bar. I'm really glad you let us in here because this is where I wanted to go see. It's like, what are we doing in our neighborhood places? That traffic's there with your friends and family. It's like that Cheers place. Everybody knows your name.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, come back to it.
So great to have you guys here. It's so great to be reopened and see all the familiar faces and friends and family.
I mean, obviously you were still doing takeout and delivery. Were you doing delivery?
You hear me now?
We were doing takeout and delivery, yes.
But to keep going.
Absolutely.
Yep, we can hear you, Brian. Brian Freeman.
Hey, Brian.
Brian, we're going. We're on. How are you? We're at Taco Party in Grand Junction right now, and Brian Freeman's going to take us over here, and I'm sure Chef Josh Nurnberg's running around. Is Josh there with you, Brian? Brian, can you hear us? Hello, Brian. Creepy.
Creepy.
He's like giving us
surgical mask creepy.
Brian, can you hear us? What does he think's going on here?
I'm not real sure.
I don't know.
Brian Freeman, can you hear us?
He can't hear us.
Turn the audio on your phone.
We can hear you, Brian.
Let me text him.
Okay, he's going to text him. Coming up on the show today is Dr. William Blanchet. Now, we've checked into a doctor, and take doctors for what they are. This doctor's actually pretty cool. He's the from Boulder Internal Medicine. He's a guy that's just as we've gone to and followed along and just what have we been seeing, and is it safe to even go outside? If you watch the nightly news, it's terrifying.
It is terrifying, absolutely. Yeah,
it's so terrifying. Yesterday, I gave the analogy of when I was a kid, the Cold War was going on, and we were told that if the Russians nuke us, hide underneath your desk.
Because that'll help.
Right, exactly. So I'm wondering how much of this is the, hide underneath your desk during the Cold War type of thing.
Think it's relevant.
As we look back, and history is always the test of time, but to check in with the doctor and just gauge, are we going to see a spike? Because people are saying what we're seeing right now is from Mother's Day, and what we're doing on the reopening, we won't know in 2 weeks. So it'll be an interesting thing when we follow the doc with that. Did you know there's a run on chickens?
There's a run on chickens?
People are
Why is there a run on chickens?
People are going out and getting their own chickens and putting them in their backyards.
Chickens are cool.
Well, I mean, listen, I don't know if I'd want my neighbor with the chicken, although I do live
Not a rooster, but hens, cool.
That's right. But people want to control the food chain right now. And you were seeing it, weeks ago, run on this, run on toilet paper, whatever. But people want to do their own eggs in a garden. It's kind of like going to a funeral, though. You go and you're like, oh, I'm going to cherish life and people that I love and tell my mom I love her every single day. In a month, it wears off.
Right.
So the chicken and the run on that and doing a garden. Do you garden
so then
at all?
What do you do with the chickens after that?
Well, I don't know. I guess eat them. I mean, that's what I'd raise them to eat them.
I don't have a garden.
You don't garden or anything?
No, I have a zero-scape
but
yard,
you're a camper.
Low maintenance. I'm a camper, yeah. Hiker, camper, yeah.
Where's your favorite spot?
I tend to like Buena Vista a lot, up in that area.
Yeah, down by Salida, Buena Vista area.
Yeah,
I love that area.
Great area. Yep.
It's like God's world. A couple of good breweries and distilleries, too. Do we have you, Brian? Can we hear you?
I can hear you.
Oh, perfect.
Hey,
this is good stuff. Brian Freeman. We're here with Jeff Hellner at 20 Mile Tap House.
Hey, Brian.
And where are you, Brian? At Taco Party?
I am at Taco Party right now. The guys are nice enough to let me in the back of the kitchen. As you know, the dining room is closed, but to go is
look
open.
at that beautiful door. That's a nice space. I haven't been in there before.
Oh, man, I'll tell you, this is a beautiful space from the front door, and that's the patio area that the city did them a nice favor and put out some great built-in space for people to enjoy their tacos. And this place is just a fun place.
Cool.
This is Josh Nuremberg's second restaurant here in town. He started Ben 707, and what he's doing over here at Taco Party is just crushing it.
Do you ever make it to the left side of Colorado?
Not too often. On my way to Moab here and there, but yeah.
Grand Junction and Palisade area. Grand Junction seems to be doing some good stuff, but Josh Nuremberg. Talk about, Brian, while we've got you.
Thanks, Julie.
Brian invented produce. He is the produce guy. If you ever have a produce question or want to figure out where, Brian's the guy to ask. But, Brian, talk about the agriculture in that area and how much is to draw from there.
Well, it's really interesting because what's gone on right now is we had a big freeze. Not sure if you heard about that, but these guys are in a hard spot because what we're hearing is in the Paonia area in the North Fork down a little further south, they're going to have about 20% of their apricots and cherries. But up here in Palisade, they're only going to probably have about 10% of their cherries. And we're waiting to see on the peaches because the peaches have been spotty. The freeze almost destroyed the entire crop in Palisade. It was like any Mother Nature would do. It saved some of the trees. It didn't save some of them. So we're waiting to find out. I am going to stop in Palisade on my way out and take some pictures for you guys to post of what the fruit is looking like on the trees right now. Because, when that freeze hit. Now, it's interesting because that's this side. They seem to have pretty good water. I'll tell you, I've been out looking at the canals and all the water, and they seem like they have pretty good water, but that's not the case down in a place like the San Luis Valley, where I am hearing that it's been dry. It's also been dry here, but they have water in the ground. But the San Luis Valley is reporting that if they don't get some water soon, we might have a lot of crop failures.
Every year.
That's a big deal.
Yeah, every year it's a little bit different. Is Chef there with you, Brian?
Pardon me?
Is Chef there with you?
Yes. Ryan is walking around the building real quick, and here he is. Brian on. Chef Josh is trying to do a deal with, they've got some real estate stuff they've got going on. So Chef
Hey guys.
Josh couldn't join us, but we've got the second best thing. It's Ryan.
Oh,
Right
God.
here.
You're our first best thing. What's going on, Ryan? How are you, Chef? This is the Modern Eater Show interrupting your This is the Modern Eater Show interrupting your meeting right now. Good. It looks like.
Hey, I'm going to turn the volume down. Give us 1 second. We're going to turn the volume down a little bit so we can hear you guys better.
Sure.
Sound is a little quiet.
Yeah, head to the front there. And I'm just interested to see what they're going to do to ramp back up. Now, Grand Junction, what county is Grand Junction in?
Grand Junction is, Ryan, it's which county? So not the, it's the Grant County? No, Mesa County. Mesa County, yep.
So Mesa County actually got a variance a little while back, but the whole state's got the go-ahead. And you guys, and I like it, you work at your own pace. What is your pace right now, Chef? And talk to us about what your reopening will look like and, theoretically when it'll happen.
Our pace is just stay as far ahead as possible, just a little background, everything that has helped us be successful through all of this is all Josh. He's been a step ahead for everything and knowing how to navigate just all of these crazy decisions. I'm very much just support staff for him to make sure that whatever the policy of the day is, that we put that into play.
So go slow. Tell us what, in your mind, what some of those brilliant or unique decisions were along the way.
I don't know if it's hard to say what's unique anymore.
Well, it's unique that you guys were able to keep all your staff. That was very cool.
Yes.
Throughout that.
Josh saw what was happening. We paid really close attention to what was happening in New York and what was happening in LA. And, he just got ahead of it. So as far as getting that PPP loan, he had it, tried to understand it, tried to sift through all that information as fast as possible, and then got it going for us. And from the moment of the shutdown, which, was the day before St. Patrick's Day, I believe, which was that Monday, we all kind of remember where we were at. Ben was just getting into a Monday night service when it was like, that's it, it's time to shut down.
Mm-hmm.
And
how many seat restaurant is that?
How many seats has Ben?
Yeah.
With the patio, I believe we go up to 120, but just the dining room alone, we're at 80.
At 80.
Well, and Greg, one thing I should say about Ben, what's tricky is once you go to the new standards inside of the restaurant, they're going to go from 8 tables to 4 tables or 12 to 4.
Yeah.
It's like
right.
And then, and then the patio where they normally had, I think, 8 tables, you're going to go down to 5 there.
Yeah. So to that, as far as the plans for reopening right now with that new variant, that the ink is still wet on that one. Ben will open tomorrow night, and we've got an agreement with the bank in the space that we lease from to basically use the outside area and all of the sidewalk. In doing so, Josh knows the exact number, but I think we almost increase our seating capacity because we just have, 10 tables lined up down the sidewalk. And everything's taped off, and we're literally building a fence for it right now so that we are within the guidelines for all of that. And we fill all those tables, we're going to be as, busy as we've ever been.
Yeah, barring rain, the destroyer right now. You go for accommodate for all this outdoor seating, and you think, oh my goodness, what if it rains? You can't bring everybody in because you'll go with capacity. So it's a really tough juggling act right now.
It's going to be crazy. I knock on wood. I read some headline the other day that was like Junction's supposed to see like early monsoon season.
Oh, jeez.
Typically it's just 100 degrees and hot here, and everybody wants to be on the patio and, watch it. It's going to be like the rainiest summer we've had. But you know what? we've all gotten so resilient at just, going with the punches. And, if that's what happens, we'll adjust and pivot again and figure it out.
So Chef Nuremberg, he's a big proponent of using everything that you buy,
Right.
Scratch to table, a great curated menu, like you, cross-utilizing different options as far as proteins and vegetables go. And when you were keeping all of your employees, the business model changed a lot, and that's what Josh, I think, did such a great job at, pivoting that business model to be able to make that delicious food for curbside or delivery type of situation. And since you pivoted and did such a great job with that, and you utilized a lot of your like front of the house staff is now delivering food and those sides. Yep. So people found themselves in a different job, right, while they were there. Transitioning back into that, and what are some of the things that it's almost like, okay, we just got the footing down of this new model and we're actually doing it decently well, but now we've got to migrate back and pivot back into our roles pre-COVID and that type of thing. What's that transition look like? And I'm sure you're still going to have to go and delivery business as well. What do you keep with that?
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, we're hoping that we'll keep going with this takeout and delivery business just as strong as ever. For Taco Party, where I primarily spend most of my time, we've been doing great. Just the format of being able to do what we do, tacos and tostadas and margaritas to go, we've done really well. So we actually haven't felt the pressure to get this place open. We're hoping that we can make some moves this weekend alongside with Ben, but if it doesn't happen,
see, that's what I find this so interesting right now is this like a dining with the folks that have pivoted and figured out, oh my goodness, it's like, what does your dining room mean to you anymore? Where it's almost cumbersome or a hindrance, yeah, exactly. Right? I mean, it's a mind-blowing thing, but that's where it's like, okay, how do we get away from this model that's running so well right now and get back to something that's seemingly dangerous and archaic for your situation?
I don't know the answer to that. I mean, when we do open the dining room in whatever capacity that is, for us being able to go into doing outdoor seating with this new liquor licensing variants, we're just going to take that and see what comes of that.
Has that been big? Cocktails to go and that kind of thing, has that been big for you?
It's huge. It's everything. I mean, the day that they allowed us to do cocktails to go, we bottled up in mason jars margaritas, like 10, 15-gallon batches at a time, and it was absurd how many people were just after margaritas.
I believe it. Now, Jeff, was that much that you guys would want to do? I mean, you've got you can do it, but does that work with you? Sending stuff out the door?
Oh, we had all the takeaway beverages for sure. Yeah, mules were our thing, not so much margaritas, but all the Moscow mules, flavored mules. Yep.
Man. Yep. And they're looking for an extension of that for a couple of years. They look frozen or really, really weird mannequins right now. Are they frozen?
Yeah, they are mannequins. Yeah.
Yeah, I think they're frozen.
2 more years. There's no turning back on that, though, right?
No, I don't think so.
Once that's opened up,
I like the idea of growler fills too for tap houses like this. You know, I have family in Oregon, and they have growler fill stations everywhere, and I was wondering, when is Colorado going to get on board with that, to be able to fill up a growler at a bar or a tap room that's not a brewery?
And how does it not make sense to do that? And we're looking to get the boys back. We got a comment on the stream. I enjoy the modern eater so much. Come on. Helps me feel like I'm not alone in our struggles. Keep it up, guys. We're not looking to stop anywhere. Here's our poll. Have you gone out to eat yet since restaurants reopened? Yes at 51, no at 117. So we've got some work to do, you guys.
It's safe to go out and eat, people. Let's do it.
Go out there and support. Okay, guys, we got you back. I think it froze up a little bit there. Taco Party, you guys do a lot of great work, but do you mind showing us the kitchen chef and assembling something good for us? Make our mouths water? They're like, they can't hear us.
They can't hear us.
Can you hear us?
Yeah, we can hear you. Just
Okay.
cut out a second.
No sweat. We were hoping you'd take us into the kitchen real quick and assemble some food for us. Can you do that, Chef?
Yeah, here. Well, I'll let Ryan go back, and I'll stay out here. Oh, sure. Yeah, they just were saying, let's see the kitchen. Oh, see the kitchen. Yeah.
I love watching Josh's team work in the kitchen. Just so efficient and again, the pendulum swings, and we look at places like this is that these are the guys that are going to be under a microscope of folks that are like, are you doing everything by the book? And you've got those PC police that are out there.
They are out there, that's for sure.
Guys.
Yeah, I mean, what you see here, this is just life now. It's a stack of to-go boxes, to-go bowls, and all of our plateware is all wrapped up downstairs, waiting to be put back in the dining room. And that's pretty much it. With the model that we're doing, we're still able to pretty much keep all our staff going. And it's fairly steady just throughout the day.
Is that an Al Pastor right there? That is.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Show us something
Love
here.
the Pastor.
Yeah.
Here, come on in.
Look at this. Cooking blue corn tortillas right up on the griddle.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that's the El Pastor machine, which was a big debate because we said, well, our dining room's closed. We really need to have this thing spinning on a spit. We could pre-cook it, put it in a 6-pan, and we said no. It's not the same to cook it that way.
Yeah.
So regardless of any guest sees it, that's proper El Pastor. We keep that thing going, and
Love the quality.
yeah,
focus.
we love that thing.
That's fantastic. Thank you for taking the time out. Anything else you want to leave us with? How's the morale? How are your spirits? And how's everybody holding up there in the kitchen?
Good. Really good. I think just the fact that everybody's kind of gone through this and to see what's happening out there in the rest of the country and to have business and have the support of our community and what they're offering, we're all just super grateful. So, I would say the vibe of the kitchen, both here and at Ben, has been the best it's ever been because everybody is just really grateful to be there. And I think some of the food that we've been able to do in the last few months is probably the best food we've ever done.
Nice.
So
kitchen staff,
we're
they're my
hoping
heroes.
to just keep building on that momentum. And,
Absolutely.
I guess I'll get out of the way if people are actually cooking.
Yeah, you guys are heroes. Thank you guys back there in the kitchen. Brian Freeman, doing great work, my friend. What are you going to do for the rest of the day? If you go someplace interesting, let us know. You can be the roving reporter on the street.
I definitely will, and if I can get over to the Cox Farm, Brian Cox Farm, before you guys are done, I'll make sure to call you back.
I want to do this, make a little special announcement. We will, every year we go on a road trip, and we circle Colorado, and we head down the I-70 corridor. We go through in Palisade and Grand Junction. What's the loop there? And then we head down to the North Fork into Paonia, and then we head south through there, don't we, into Durango?
Yep. Well, you come back out and you go down to Montrose.
Oh, Montrose.
And we'll go down through Durango.
We stop all the
and
way
then
along
back
the
up
way.
through the San Luis Valley.
10 days. We broadcast every day. Get people acquainted with
great food.
all the
meet some great
breweries. We
people,
go to Ska Brewing in Durango. We hit go
Love
see a
Ska,
bunch of great friends and families, distilleries. We go see Peach Street Distillery in Palisade. So we go gather a bunch of food, and then we come back in the summertime and we do something called the Summer Dinner Series. So every Tuesday night we take Colorado's top chefs and they get a run at it, and folks get to learn. And we just like this setup. So the diners will sit and we'll go to Palisade and we'll talk to a farm, and they'll come in here and the wife, husband and wife and kid, and they're running around their yard, and so the diners get to eat and the chefs talk about the ingredients in the food.
That's
well,
great.
with COVID, our kitchen that we broadcast from is Studio Kitchen, Colorado. It would fit 30 people, but very tight.
Right.
This year, didn't think it was going to be able to happen. We're going to be able to. We have a venue that we've secured that folks will be able to come join us for Summer Dinner Series. We're going to hit the road and still do road trip. So we'll be in restaurants every day until June 17th, and then we'll hit the road. Jay's about to just take his life.
Oh, Freeman knows how much I love these road trips.
And then we'll come back, and Chef Carrie Baird, James Beard nominated finalist, will be the first chef kicking it off on July 7th. So stay tuned for the announcement of where we will be having the Summer Dinner Series from.
Luke Larson from Centennial
well, we look forward to
Meats,
seeing you when you make it out this way.
Thank you, Chef. We'll be there soon to see you. Thanks, Brian. Okay.
Cheers.
What were you gonna
Thanks, everyone.
Thanks.
Cheers.
What were you going to say, Jay?
I was saying Luke Larson texted me and he said from Centennial Meats, he says I got a place for you guys to stay. You know, if we're 10 miles off,
Go
of something,
see his cattle farm.
But he says, man, I've got some rooms and some trees.
Do you know Luke from Centennial Meats?
I do not.
Oh man, I mean, see, these are the connect, and we'd
I
love
need to meet him.
Yeah. Well, you do, because you might get that better burger that
Right.
maybe a little less expensive,
Absolutely.
and local too. Dude, you've been a great sport. Seriously, it's like, I mean, you're like me too, because he was like, I'm gonna put my hands together because I want to just go around and I can't sit still and I want to do things. But you've got
I hear things going on behind me.
You've got a restaurant of guests, and it's so good to
Yep,
see.
yep.
And as people are gathering, and I know you want to go out and do the things and grab that mask and go meeting people.
Exactly.
Thank you, brother.
Yeah,
I
thank you.
appreciate it. There he
Cheers.
is. Cool. This was good. 20 Mile Tap House. And again, this is everyone's neighborhood bar. And as we celebrate my mother's birthday, actually, I want to get, hey, Mom, come over here for a second. Sit down. Quickly, though, please. Come on. Here she comes. As people, have you gone out to eat yet since restaurants have opened? Yes is 54 and no is at 131. We're going to be joined by Dr. William Blanchet here in just a minute if my mother sits down. Turn this around right here. There you go, young lady. I want to say happy birthday to you.
Yeah, can you believe it?
I can believe it.
Another year.
Birthdays come every year.
Another year goes by. Not this year. I lost a year. I'm a year younger.
Oh, yeah, because COVID, right?
Yeah, COVID.
You've been kind of put yourself on the shelf for about 9 weeks, and this is really your first venture out, and you're at a first restaurant in quite some time. We're doing all the things, wearing the mask to the table, but how do you feel? You feel safe?
Well,
You feel good?
I'm just not thinking about it. I'm having a blast with these people behind here.
Good.
Yeah.
Living life.
We're laughing it up, making fun of you.
It's your birthday.
Yep.
And,
75 big ones, can you believe it?
75.
I know. You'd never know it.
3/4 of one.
That's right. Well, let's hope I'm sitting here when I'm 100.
I certainly hope so, too. We're going to be joined at 3 p.m. in the next 5 minutes here by Dr. William Blanchet. You've seen him on the show, huh? You watch the show quite a bit.
I watch every day.
Every single day?
I take notes.
Do you?
Yeah. I'm keeping notes of things that I can improve upon.
That you can improve upon?
For you, yeah.
Oh, for me?
Yeah.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, not that you never ever listen to me, but...
Close the bathroom door.
Yeah.
When she can see it in a shot.
Oh, that drives me nuts. Absolutely nuts.
I love it.
What's
here's the thing.
And I can't
close
get
it, somebody else uses it, so.
Well, put a sign on it or something.
What's your favorite dining environment? A local restaurant, a fine dining, casual bar? Where do you like to sit?
I like them all. As long as there's a good drink in front of me and good friends and lots of laughter, I don't care.
Where are you looking to get back to?
I usually go to the middle of the road, less expensive places, but, that's what happens when you get older, You
National chains?
A little frugal. Well, I'm not opposed to it, I know you've made fun of me for that, but...
You're a big happy hour person.
Well, I bring along to a group fun table. They love seeing us come.
Oh, Mom. I know. Getting back at it and kind of just seeing what's happening out there. But it's a different world we live in right now.
I can't wait. Yeah, I don't know. The masks are annoying.
They're annoying.
Yeah.
You don't like to wear them? Or do you feel that they're just impersonal?
Well, I couldn't breathe with them until I found you came over with that one you made out of a sock. I thought, that's pretty sick. But I made myself one, and it's not too bad because you can breathe through it. These other ones, they fog up your glasses, and you can't breathe, and your nose runs. And It's disgusting.
So since you've seen us broadcast pretty much every day for the past 75
and Saturday
days,
nights too, you know.
and Saturday nights, what's your takeaway from what you've been seeing and hearing from restaurants and the evolution of, from the first of the outbreak until today, where it's loosening up a little bit? What was your impression the whole time?
Well, I really been pretty surprised that they're taking it in pretty much in stride, unless they're just kind of hiding it for show. Myself personally, I'd probably been home sucking my thumb, worried to death.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, this is like the second coming.
So it's good to see a little different perspective. The Modern Eater Show really doesn't give that impression that the world's coming to an end.
Oh, absolutely
not. A lot
not.
of the local media channels.
I think your show has really brought a lot of lightness and some humor and, some laughter that people need in times like this, for God's sake, You can only be down in the dumps for so long.
As you look around a dining room, and again, this is the first time you've stepped out in a little while, are you seeing the folks are, pretty much back into it? Or?
Well, at least here it doesn't look like anything ever happened, I mean, everybody's...
Does that bother you?
No.
No. Should people be on edge?
I don't think that the younger generation really gives that stuff as much thought as when you get a little older, And then the news media, for God's sake, they'd like to scare your ass to death.
I think we have the doctor here. You want to stick around with the doc? Do you have any questions for him? Dr. William Blanchet? This is free advice from a doctor.
Oh, I know. He might freak out seeing me out and about at my age,
I don't know. That's what I wanted to...
Well, he'll probably scold you for taking me out.
We have a poll that is on the stream today. Have you gone out to eat yet since restaurants reopened? And just a few days into it, I know that Douglas County and a couple of other places have received variances to reopen a little bit earlier, but just a couple of days out since the state gave the go-ahead. And the yes is at 58, and the no is at 142. So a lot of folks. But 58, that's good to see that 58 out of 200 people have gone out to eat as of now.
Right. Well, I don't think that, now that things have loosened up, that I'm going to be in a big rush to go out every night. And I'll be very selective about where I go.
Sure, trust yourself, right?
And who I go with.
You'd get the 5 times out of there if you felt uncomfortable, wouldn't you? If you went into a situation that didn't jive with what you wanted to do.
I have to be careful of that, because just like these people behind here, I didn't have any hesitation to strike up a conversation with them.
You're a very social person.
Sit down and
that's the thing.
And before I knew it, we were deep into
that's a no-no.
Making jokes.
Don't talk to anybody you don't know. Or is that false? That's why we go to this gentleman right here, Dr. William Blanchet, Boulder Internal Medicine. Welcome back to the Modern Eater Show. It's good to see your face, doctor.
Well, it's good to see you, too. How's the audio? Can you hear me?
We can hear you just fine. It sounds great. Look at this. It's my mother's birthday, and she's right along my side co-hosting with me right now.
Happy birthday. That's great.
Hey, thanks.
Fabulous.
Well, here we are. Some people may say, what are you doing taking your mom out? She is, I don't consider her to be elderly. Man, she's in better shape than I am, doctor. She truly is. She does a great job. But she has been kind of stashing herself away for the past 9 weeks, getting a little stir-crazy. And I think this is probably the consensus of a lot of folks. It's like, what'd you say to me, Mom? I want to go out and live life?
Oh, yeah, a little bit. 9 weeks stuck in the house by myself got a little tedious.
That's pretty hard. That's really, really tedious. Yeah. And the point is, I think that we're going to be successful in going out, providing we do it correctly. And we've heard a lot about how other countries are doing it. We heard about Sweden that never shut down the economy. But from the beginning, Sweden took some steps. And when you go out in Sweden, you actually eat outside almost always. You don't have crowded restaurants. And so they've been doing about the same as we have without closing down their economy, but they took some steps. They put things in place. They had people wear masks. They had social distancing. They just did it before the thing exploded. In our case, the virus exploded. We couldn't just do that. We had to shut things down. We've now gotten things down to a dull roar. I think the time is okay. We can reasonably go out and start eating and start doing things, but we have to do it differently. We have to be more mindful of distancing, masks, hand washing, sanitizing surfaces. And, we don't know for sure, but it will probably work if we do it right. If we take the position of, thank God this is over, I'm going out to the bar and we're going to have a rager, we're going to go back to where we were before and we're going to shut everything down again, and it's going to be catastrophic. It's just, we can't do that. We got to do it right. And hopefully that's what's happening.
Well, I'll give you a call in 2
That's what's happening.
I'll give you a call in 2 weeks and let you know if I'm still standing.
Well, that's a good point. So 2 weeks, everybody gives that gauge of 2 weeks. So Mother's Day is what we're looking at now, and I wanted to get to you.
Mother's Day.
Mother's Day is what we're looking at now as far as hospitalizations and illness, right, Doctor? 2 weeks back was Mother's Day, and right now we're seeing the effects of what Mother's Day weekend brought. And then what's happening now in like the Ozarks and places where people are mass exodus and they're getting back together irresponsibly and partying together. We're going to see the effects from that 2 weeks down the road, aren't we?
We're going to see the effects 2 weeks and then again 4 weeks because this multiplies. And so what happened in the Ozarks, we'll probably get a whole bunch of people infected who will then go home and get a whole bunch more people infected. So we'll see the first bump, then we'll see the next bump. And if people continue behaving as they did on that weekend, it's going to be a spike. It's going to be just a steep curve upward. That'll be catastrophic. So I'm delighted that when I go out and I see how people are behaving, they're behaving responsibly. I think Colorado is going to succeed. I worry for Arkansas and Missouri and Mississippi and Georgia. I think they may have a catastrophe on their hands. We'll see.
We're looking at.
We'll see.
Have you gone out to eat yet since restaurants reopened? The poll is at yes at 60, no at 150. I'll pose that same question to you, Doctor. How about you? Have you gone out to eat yet?
I have not gone out, and the reason is this. Because in my job, in my profession, I have to be exposing myself to people who are in their 70s, 80s, and 90s. I can't social distance. I have to get close enough to hear their heart and look in their ear. So I have to hold myself to a higher standard than what the population has to hold themselves to prevent a re-explosion of the pandemic. So in my case, I haven't yet, and I probably won't until this really has settled down a lot more, simply because I don't want to get it and then be responsible for a half a dozen 80-year-olds getting it and dying. That's not a responsibility that I can take. So I agree. I'm happy to have people go out. I'm delighted it's starting to happen again. I'm sad that the Denver City Council isn't able to expedite their request for patio seating. They ought to say all patio seating is okay and we will retrospectively analyze. That's what they should do. But to have 400 requests for patio seating in Denver and they're processing, and it'll take months for this, is absurd. They need to respond. We need more patio seating. I feel much more comfortable sitting on a patio eating than I would in a restaurant eating.
Is there medical evidence to being safer outside, Doctor?
Absolutely there is. Turns out when you look at episodes where 3 or more people got sick in a cluster, over 80% of those episodes occurred inside. Less than 20% occurred outside under any circumstance. And so we see the national news media having a conniption fit about people going to the beach. May not be that unsafe. A little bit of social distancing, a little bit of responsibility. You may be able to safely go to the beach because it's outside, the wind is blowing, the viruses are getting wafted up into the air, the sun is shining and killing the viruses. The beach is probably a reasonably safe place. You can't be in huddled masses in the beach, but you can be safe in the beach with reasonable social distancing. I think eating outdoors, the virus doesn't have any walls to bounce off of. It just goes up and dissipates and is gone. The water particles dry up more quickly. So there's a lot of reasons why being outside should work. And now that we've been able to get enough contact tracing to reach some conclusions, turns out most infections occur inside. That's the data we're getting now. It validates these sort of assumptions we were making before. So yeah, there is data.
Al fresco. I like eating outside, don't you, Mom?
I love it.
Patios.
I love eating.
I love eating, yes. You look at the governor's office and the guidance that restaurants get, and, restaurants are in a whole different classification as a bar or a brewery. And
Right.
the consensus is, and I think we can all agree that a few libations are going to loosen up your inhibitions, and you may be more social, doctor, right?
There's a historical precedent for that, yes.
Yes, there is. So when you look at a bar situation, or even today we're at a kind of a 20-mile tap house, it's kind of everyone's neighborhood bar and grill type of environment. But it's the honor system that we're on right now. Trust yourself, trust your instincts, give someone else the benefit of the doubt of maybe they don't want to be around you too. But what do you do when you walk into a place where everybody knows your name? You've been kind of away from them for quite some time, but you want to reunite. People don't want you to bounce from table to table, right?
Right.
To make your rounds. But under those circumstances, like, should my mom not just do you hang with your own that you've been around, or is it okay if she goes? And I mean, I'm really struggling with bars and what
Right.
bars should actually do right now.
So there's two issues. One issue is how much are we increasing our risk for contagion? And the more exposure we have, the more we increase that risk. Keep in mind, we're not going to be able to stop the last person from getting infected. But if we can just have fewer people get infected than are infected, it doesn't become a pandemic, it winds down. And so the more we stay isolated, the less we're going to spread this infection. And so right now, I think it's a matter of staying with your group and waving hi to the person across the hall and texting them. I don't think it's a matter of going over to that table, then going over to this table. I think you have to wave hi and text. Let's keep this virus under the wraps. If you're over 60, and I'm over 60, if you're over 60, you got to be a little bit more careful, because if I get sick, there's a 15% chance I'll be in the hospital and a 6% chance that I'll die. If I'm 70, there's a 13% chance that I'll die.
Oh, my goodness
If I'm
gracious.
80, there's a 26% chance that I'm going to die. So for someone in my age range, there's that existential threat also. For a young child such as yourself, Greg, you're probably not going to die. You might get sick. But the important thing is you might keep the spread going. So we all have to pull together, pull on the oars the same direction. Keep this thing. We got this virus on the ropes. Let's finish the job. Let's start enjoying going out. Let's start enjoying some good food. But let's be super duper careful about it, really.
When you say finishing the job, and I think a lot of people are really unclear on what is the end of the job. How do you know that the workday's over? Honestly.
The end of the job is this. If we can go back to a restaurant and the slope that is declining in infections doesn't do this, then we have finished our job. The other job is the folks who are working on the treatments and the vaccines. Once they get their job done, then we don't have to worry about our job anymore. Our job is to get back to living, get back to socializing without exploding this virus. That's what I mean when I say we need to finish our job. The other folks who are making the treatments, who are making the vaccines, they will make this thing finally, ultimately go away. But if we can go out and get a great meal in a restaurant and enjoy ourselves and visit with our mom, visit with our kids, and the virus doesn't take off, then we've finished our job. That's what I'm alluding to.
Gotcha.
So let's finish our job.
Finish the job, right? And get the job done right as well.
Yep.
Okay, so vaccine, that's an interesting one. You're going to go around the table and go, okay, doctor, they come up with a treatment, vaccine. Are you taking it?
Yes. Yeah. Because by the time they come up with a vaccine, the problem with the vaccine is it takes a while for them to come up with it, because they have to do all this safety testing and see what happens. But yes, I'm going to take it. However, if they come up with a treatment that's not a vaccine, they may come up with passive immunity. They may come up with synthetic antibodies that will allow me to get the disease but not die from it. That's just as good. And that's probably going to happen before we get a vaccine. We'll probably have an effective treatment months before we have a vaccine. And so if I can be exposed to somebody, get antibodies against the virus as a shot, and not get deathly ill, the problem's done. The problem's over with. So that may come long before the vaccine's ever available. So I'm looking forward to these things that are right on the thresholds right now, right on the frontier. And hopefully, before winter, we'll have some of these available to us. I think that's a real possibility.
We've covered a lot of ground, but I always want to defer to you towards the end of talking with you. What are some things that are on your mind or that we need to know right now, Dr. William Blanchet?
Well, in Colorado, the numbers continue to look good. The amount of testing we're doing is going up. The amount of cases we're seeing is going down. The number of hospitalizations is going down. There's no shortage of ventilators. There's no shortage of ICU beds. All the things that could have happened if we had not taken those earlier painful steps have not happened. We're on the right side of the curve. We have started seeing more patients in the office. For several weeks, we did 99% telemedicine. I had 6 live patients in my office yesterday. It was like it was a celebration. We've started doing some imaging again. There's things that we shut down during the throes of this, but we're doing it differently. I have this thing in the front of my office. We used to call it a waiting room. We're going to have to rename it because there's nobody there. We have nobody in the waiting room.
Well, good. Maybe you don't double book anymore then, doctor.
That's a risk, yes. We schedule patients in a time frame where they get here, they come straight into an exam room.
Yeah.
There's no socializing in what used to be called the waiting room.
Can't say I hate that.
Yeah.
Get right.
Yeah. We're doing it differently, but we're doing it.
Can you serve us tacos? No tacos.
We might have to do that to break even after a while, but we'll see.
Oh my goodness, doctor! What else? What else? While we have you here?
Oh, just from my perspective, when this started, the unknown of what we're up against, how bad this was going to be, was devastating. Right now, we're pretty comfortable. We know what we're dealing with. We know what has worked. We're hoping this continues to work. And I'm optimistic that it will. I'm seeing good behavior. If I have to go to a grocery store, I'm seeing good behavior. If I have to go to a hardware store, I'm seeing good behavior. Like I said, I'm desperately looking forward to going to a restaurant. But because of my occupational situation, I don't see that happening for a while longer yet.
This is kind of rhetorical, and I know there's really not an answer to it, but I just find it fascinating as our friends in the service industry struggle so much right now, and everything is bureaucracy and politician driven. But I went to Nordstrom Rack yesterday to hit and they didn't publicize their sale. I think if they would have said 40% off, they would have had people packed in there.
Right.
But there was a good amount of people in there. But as I'm sitting in the dressing room trying on clothing, taking it off, having somebody grab that clothing, put it back on a rack for someone else to try on, I'm thinking, how in the hell is this? That's the furthest thing from being. And then I look at restaurants that are so clean by nature, and there's none of that. You're not wearing somebody else's shirt. It just seems to me like there's a lot of stuff that makes sense and then not. But again, I didn't know that there's an answer to that.
There sort of is. What happens here is this virus descended upon us with great rapidity, and we weren't prepared for it. And none of our responses have been perfect. Nothing that we've done has been exactly right. And that's an example of it not being exactly right. Once again, we don't have to prevent one more infection. It's not that we have to stop the next infection. We just have to have the number of people who are getting infected be slightly less than the number of people who are infected, rather than slightly more. And if we do enough things right, if the number of people getting infected gets slightly less over time, we will win. If we do too many things wrong, the number of people getting infected slightly more than the current infected, then the curve will take off again, and then we'll be at the threat of using up all of our medical resources again and shutting down the economy, and that's what we can't do. So do I want to put on a shirt that somebody else has put on without being washed? No. But it turns out that is less of a risk than somebody down the aisle in a grocery store not wearing a mask sneezing.
Interesting.
That's a greater risk.
Well, I'll tell you what, doctor, I got you on the shopping thing. I think we probably wear the same size shirt. So if you need one, I'll send a shirt up to you, man.
I appreciate that.
You got it. Dr. William Blanchet, we love when you join us. I'm sure we'll catch up with you in the next week or so. Boulder Internal Medicine. And again, when all this clears up, I'm gonna pay you a visit, man. Okay. I like your acumen, man. I really do. You're a good guy. Thank you so much,
appreciate
doctor.
That's great to see you.
Dr. William
Bye, Mom.
Blanchet.
Bye.
Like hearing from him, don't you?
Yeah, I find it very interesting. Yeah.
Very even dude.
Yeah, I didn't like those numbers for over 70.
I know, right?
I know. So that means that I'm probably infected.
You're
now,
spry, though.
You know?
You're spry.
I
Hey, did you know there's a
gotta
run on chickens? You know that. Your neighbor wants to put together a chicken
yeah,
coop.
I don't
doesn't
know
he?
how keen I am on that deal.
There's a run on chickens.
I reminded him that Denver has 311.
Denver has 311.
Yeah.
Ask. We got a guy with some chickens here with us. Hello. How are you, sir? This is Shaun Pearman, and he's with Wardles Feed. First of all, Shaun, talk about Wardles Feed, and welcome to the Modern Eater Show. It's good to see you.
Hey, good to see you. Good to talk to you. Yeah, it's actually pronounced Wardle Feed.
Wardle. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry.
Yeah, we're in Wheat Ridge. It's a 82-year-old business that our family bought about 1992, so 28 years ago.
28 years ago. We lost your video there. Oh, we're back. Okay.
Yeah, sorry.
So you're in the feed business. You're also an attorney. That's an interesting thing.
Yep. It's my office is right next to the feed store, so I end up back and forth a lot because our family runs the feed store, and there's also a recycling business at the same location, scrap metal recycling. So it keeps me hopping.
During COVID, I've noticed, and there's no relation to this at all, but there's a run on kittens. Everybody wanted a cat to snuggle with, and then a run on chickens, little chicks, hard to find right now. Are you seeing that yourself? People contacting you all over the place, trying to control their food chain and maybe get some eggs in their backyard?
Absolutely. It's been since late March, mid to late March, when everything sort of shut down. It seemed like panic struck, and people have been buying chicken like never before. We were sold out constantly. Our hatchery was having trouble keeping up. Finally, of late, he's been able to get some good hatches, but we've sold around 7,000 chickens since March 15th. Actually, since February, and it's probably at least double or triple what we would normally do during that period. So it's just been a crazy run on chickens.
What's a little chicken go for? What's a chicken cost?
Well, let me show you. I'll turn this around, and I apologize, my phone battery is lower than I thought it was. But let me turn the thing around, and I'll show you some of them. So they sell for anywhere from about $4.25 to $6.25.
Hey, Shaun, we lost your video. There it is. Okay.
Yeah, and there we are. So this is a group of baby chicks right now.
Oh my God!
In our brooder room.
So cute.
This is Wyandottes. There's a lot of breeds. People shop around for breeds, and we end up with all sorts of different breeds. And this is one of them. Let me give you a fast tour.
What happens if somebody gets bit by a chicken?
So over here, looks like these are Americanas, and there's these sell for a little bit more, $6 1/4. So in this room, if you can kind of see, there's probably, I'm guessing, maybe about 600 birds in here right now. 500-600 birds.
We lost your video again, Shaun. Oh, we lost Shaun altogether. And he's showing us these chickens. He said he sold about 7,000 chickens since February, Mom.
Gosh, I hope they didn't all go to my neighbor.
I hope they did. They didn't either.
Oh, God bless me.
Backyard chicken coops. Carrie Baird has one.
Well, interesting, though, what he told me was that
Your neighbor.
Yeah, my neighbor, that he checked into it, and the city has really strong permitting costs in order to put up a chicken coop.
Well, I'll bet.
Yeah, you got to get an electrical permit. And a
I doubt a lot of
permit.
people do that, though. Okay, back at it. Got you back, sir.
Sorry about that.
No, you're fine. Shaun Pearman, and we've got a limited time. I think your phone wants to croak here soon.
The phone does want to croak. I didn't realize the battery was low, and I apologize.
No, you're good. You just go for it, though, man. We'll sit back, relax, and you school us if you could.
So hopefully that answered your questions about the birds. There's a lot of them here. We have to keep temperatures just right, and the sales are brisk. At the feed store, if it's of interest too, we have a lot of other things here. There's a live beehive that you can come and look at.
Yeah, take
there's
a walk around.
Can you get to it?
Yeah, I'll take a quick walk.
Yeah.
Let me just show you
He's got better reception
real
out of that
quick
room.
here some of the stuff that you might find interesting. Right around the corner, our live beehive.
Oh, I love it.
And they're making honey and building honeycomb. We also have, I'll show you real quick where we kind of have it's almost like a free petting zoo. Oops, if it's locked.
Do you use Colorado Mills sunflower products feed there?
I don't know what that one
From
is.
Lamar,
so I don't know.
Colorado?
We mostly still, yeah, just a second. Patrick, can you open the alley?
Open the alley, Patrick.
Open the alley.
We're looking.
Yes.
We're looking to get in the.
Sorry.
Petting. No, you're good.
Do it immediately.
This is an adventure.
So out here, I'll just show you if you're still alive. I apologize. We have we sell a lot of adult chickens. So these are what are called pullets. Most of them are 12 weeks or older, and they are either laying eggs or they're close to being ready to lay eggs. We also have.
What will a chicken yield in a week? Those pullets, what will they
Depending
yield?
on the breed, 4, 5, 6 eggs. There are certain breeds that, like the white one there, it's probably a Leghorn. They lay a lot more eggs. The Leghorns do. Let me take you a quick walk down our alley. We have a lot of adult hens here that lay eggs, rabbits, if you can see them. There's a golden ringneck pheasant in here.
Wait, what was that? I didn't get a good look at that. Did you see that?
That was a pheasant. I'll see if I can get a better
pheasant.
shot. Yeah.
Wow.
Sitting in the back there is a pheasant.
How'd you?
Then got a big old turkey.
You do have a big old turkey in there. Turkey.
And a bunch of laying hens. And then we have a peacock that's sitting up on the top there that won't come down. So that's a quick rundown of what's in the alley.
I was going to say, did I just see a pelican there? No, that's not a live.
There's a peacock. Oh, that's not a live pelican that you just saw.
I was going to say, that's an interesting petting zoo you have. Yep, no, that's not a live pelican. Too much work.
On the other side of our place.
Where are you located?
I'll walk you to one more spot.
Sure, where are you located?
Wheat Ridge, 42nd and Wadsworth.
Kind of in town, 42nd and Wadsworth. All right, I know exactly where that is.
Yeah. I'm going to show you one more thing real quick if I can get there before my battery dies.
Yeah, what got you into the business?
So we actually have a recycling business, and we needed a place to go indoors, and we bought this from the Wardle brothers, who started in 1938 with their dad. It was called Wardle and Sons Feed, and they were getting tired and up in years, so they sold out to us. We put our recycling in the back, and the feed store we kept open. It didn't need to make money in that era. It's a time when a lot of the big box stores came, like PetSmart, and they wiped out feed stores with low prices. So back here's our mini horse, mini donkey.
I did not expect that. Oh, they're talking.
And then over here, they just came today, a couple baby goats.
Don't you want your neighbor to have one of those?
Oh, yeah. I can't wait.
So they're missing their mom. I think this is the first day they've been away.
It actually sounds like they're screaming mom.
I think so.
My neighbor already has a mini goat. They have a baby.
No way.
Well, not a goat. But their baby sounds the same.
Oh, yeah, their
mini
baby.
Goats make mini goat's cheese.
So 42nd and Wadsworth, is that what you said?
Yeah, exactly right.
And so what
it's called 3 Acre Lane.
3 Acre Lane. Wow. This is interesting.
And there's a couple more goats. This one's Tommy. He's leash broken. He'll go on a walk with you just like a puppy dog.
I'd like to see you walk down Wadsworth with.
we have We have in the past. Whoever had him originally gave him to us, and he walked with her just like a pet dog.
Too much. Here's a poll that we have on the stream today. Have you gone out to eat yet since restaurants reopened? Yes is at 69. No is at 173. What about you, Shaun? Have you been out to eat yet?
No, not yet, but I'm looking forward to it immensely.
What's your favorite spot?
We love to go to Los Arcos at 80th and Sheridan.
80th and Sheridan. All right, I don't get up that way much, but I'll keep it in mind. Hey, man, thanks for joining us on the stream today. Any last thoughts that you want to give our audience while we've got you?
Let's see. I'm just hoping that we can get past this COVID thing real soon because it's getting pretty tiring for everybody, and hopefully the restaurants will open and everybody that you've been working with gets back to work.
Absolutely. The chicken. So, again, it looks like you're stocked up with the chickens. Are they available for retail?
Oh, yeah. We sell them every day. Lots of them.
Sell them every day, lots of them. So go get your chicken. And Shaun Pearman, and it's Wardles, right? Wardles Feed?
Yes, Wardles Feed and Pet Supply.
Fantastic. Go visit this guy. He seemed cool. I want to sit down and hang out with you for an afternoon. I bet you got some stories to tell.
We do.
Okay, Shaun.
Chickens are fun.
All right. Go get some chickens. Thanks so much. And, again, Shaun Pearman for joining the stream. I don't know, Mom. I think you'd be okay with some chickens in your backyard.
Well, he says chickens are fun.
Chickens are fun. I don't know. It's like you don't start naming them and stuff like that. I'd raise them to eat them. That's what I would do with them. You like to eat chicken, don't you?
I would have never made a good farmer. No.
You wouldn't have? No?
No, I can't. I couldn't raise an animal and kill it and eat it. No.
Raise an
I can go to the store and buy them, but I couldn't do that.
Okay.
I remember my grandfather had a cow and kept it in the front yard.
Yeah.
Little baby cow, and I played with the baby cow.
I'm so embarrassed.
About what?
Whatever I said over the God, I think
it was terrible, Jay.
Yeah,
we were
very
embarrassed.
I'm so embarrassed. To make up for it, I'd like to play a commercial.
You would.
I don't know.
Yeah.
All right, stick around. Here's a message from our
Rebecca
sponsors.
Berry from Hot Scheduled Powered by Fourth has to say.
Hey guys, it's Rebecca Berry with Hot Schedules Powered by Fourth here. And you know what they say. If you can't take the heat, then you should get out of the kitchen. But with Hot Schedules Powered by Fourth, we want you in the kitchen while we put out those fires. With Hot Schedules, we help to mitigate risk with HR, payroll, and tax compliance solutions so you can continue to put those plates on the table for your guests. Today's a big day. We're reopening, so call me. Rebecca.berry@fourth.com. That's Rebecca.berry@fourth.com. With Hot Schedules by Fourth, we've got you covered.
All right, cool. We're back at it, and that's so cool seeing Rebecca Berry. She does such a great job, and I looked at that. When she sent that over to us, I was like, that's exactly what we're looking for. And you guys, she's right here for you, Rebecca.berry@fourth.com. And you look forward to more of that as the Modern Eater Show continues, because we really want to show you the best of the folks that bring you this show each and every day. So, again, the Modern Eater Show, we will be at restaurants as much as we possibly can for the next few weeks. And then on the 17th of June, we're heading out on the road. And heading out on the road is what we love to do, just show all of Colorado's great agriculture, farms, and ranches, and farms and ranches and breweries and distilleries. I know, Jay. I mean, I wouldn't want to listen to my voice either.
Man, I'm having a rough time.
No, you're not. You're doing just fine. Hey, Jason McGovern.
Hey, Greg.
Hey, Jen.
What's going on?
What's going on, you two? It's a good surprise, huh?
Yeah, just a little caveat to our day, which is nice.
Yeah. So we're in a restaurant.
We are.
It's really cool. It's a neighborhood place. I call this, what I write down, everyone's a neighborhood bar. And people have that. Bar and grill, that's your neighborhood place. And as you know, with Piper Inn as well. But, hey, if we're sitting at a table dining, we can take our masks off. But
Yeah.
you prefer keep the mask on.
Hey, look,
all the time.
I wear the mask in solidarity with my friends in the service industry, in the hospitality industry, in the retail industry. If I'm not actively eating, I'm going to wear it because, I don't want to go into Target and stand in front of the cashier without a mask on and let them think that I don't respect their job, what they're doing for the public, for me. Yeah. So for me, it's important to show solidarity with everybody else who's out there wearing it by mandate, by the requirement of their job.
Yeah, I've never seen your smile or your face. Is it there?
He's got a big smile.
You do have a big smile.
I'll take it off just for a little bit.
Just for a little bit.
Yeah.
And as we're done. But here, I've gone out so yesterday we were at Pizza Republica. Then I went and ate at Sierra. I went with Little Rich. Forgot. But it was when Douglas County got that variance and you could get back at it. The only thing that was strange was the server came up with a map, but you got over that in 10 seconds.
Yeah.
Other than that, you go to your table, you sit down, unless your company is terrible, right? That you're with.
Maybe.
So I'm with Little Rich, and I'm happy to get back out. But as I look around, I think folks are ready to get back at it and be judicious about. Take care of yourself. If you feel you're in a situation that's uncomfortable to you, or your antenna goes up, follow your instincts. Right?
Yeah. Yeah, and I will speak from experience. We had a soft open yesterday. We had our announced open today. People are ready to make the adjustments. Mm-hmm. People are ready to be out there adjusting to whatever environment that is available to them. A lot of restaurants are moving to digital menus, and we've made that adjustment. And trust me, of all the places in Denver to be on the forefront of a digital menu movement,
shocking.
The Piper Inn is not the top of your mind, but people get it, and it works. It's better than throwing away a disposable paper menu, and it's better than wiping down 1 million menus a day. So people are ready to adjust. I've had a lot of clients, a lot of customers come through and say, we'll do whatever we need to. We don't want to get you in trouble. We don't want to create any, unsafe environment, and we'll do what we need to. We're just happy to have wings again.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's interesting, and like with you, it's like, do you need? It's going into McDonald's and you have to look at a menu. No, you'd have gone into the Piper Inn, and I'm being facetious, obviously, but
sure.
Your pizzas, I know them all, but I'm probably an exception to the rule. But the no touch type of, or less touch, less contact points is what people are looking for.
I think in general, we're all thinking about how to minimize a touch, whether it's from the customer to us or from us to the customer, Can we provide that same experience, whether it's dining inside the restaurant or maybe out on a patio, than we would normally provide for our customers pre-COVID? And it's tough to understand that, and I think customers, to Jed's point, are willing and able to come out and support us and to say, listen, we want to do what's best for you, and then we want to do what's best for us. And if we could do that kind of harmoniously, then that makes sense.
It'll work out.
Yeah.
Have you seen some of the parody things of servers going up to a table 6 feet away and they just throw the meal on the table and then throw the beer at you type of thing? It's not to that extent, but your server, you'd please be tolerant, because your server's not going to be touching that table as many times, and they're not going to pour your water every single time. I mean, there are going to be adjustments as you go out to dine. It's like, it's not going to look the same way. So please be tolerant. What are some of those tolerance things you'd like to see out of people that come into your place?
That's an interesting question. I think just for me, if I were able to say something directly to my clientele in like an en masse kind of situation, the main thing I would ask for is just patience. Mm-hmm. Every day I'm changing policies, I'm changing regulations, I'm catching up with what Polis says, I'm catching up with everything that's going on and how people are treating each other and so on and so forth. So I just need patience. I just need acceptance and patience. In our outdoor dining area, for example, we're not doing glass. I don't want glass in my parking lot. I'm not doing glass bottles. I'm not doing glasses. We're doing plastic cups. We're doing cans. We're doing whatever we can to keep our parking lot in decent shape. Some people will be salty about not having their bottle of beer, and other people will be accepting of it. But generally speaking, just try to be patient. Let's roll with it. If you want to make a suggestion, do so politely, but just be patient.
lots of different rules and variances here, and across the street it's this, and here's that, and follow this line, and it, everybody's kind of, and it does change, but. Gosh, guys, fine dining. Are you glad you're not in that business of fine dining?
I definitely am.
Big time.
Very happy that we're not in that that vector or vertical of fine dining, and we've been able to maintain a good bit of business with our pizza and wing delivery. And I know, Jed, since you've opened, you've kind of unexpectedly-ish been busy.
Yeah, I'm not a to-go restaurant. My food doesn't carry anywhere near as well as Jason's does, but. We've done well, and it just shows the love and support that's out there for communities like Jason's, for communities like mine, for Jeff's here as well. There's a lot of support, there's a lot of love, a lot of enthusiasm out there, and I can't wait to have those faces in my building. Can't wait to feed hot food again. I'm so excited about having everybody back. But again, we need patience.
Yeah, and again, it's going to evolve. So we're going to do our level best to be at restaurants and kind of just get a feel, see who's doing what and what's working, what's not. The feeling so far is completely normal. I like it. I don't know whether it's like too normal, like I should be a little more hesitant in that. And again, trust yourself, trust the places that you go to. And again, there's a few people that are like, you look at stuff like Ozark, what's going on there. It's like, oh my God, that looks so tumultuous and just weird and odd. And then you see maybe something loosening up a bit in a restaurant, which is, I think, perfectly acceptable. But these are guidance. These aren't guidelines. This is guidance. So that guidance has to loosen, and it's going to be up to you, owner operators, to say, you know what, today here's a little bit more I'll give. Right. Or here's when today I need to tighten this back up.
Absolutely.
Every day is just a triage juggling act, isn't it?
Yeah. How do you guys feel, Jay and Greg, being in here? I mean, I know that you've been doing a show for quite some time and had a lot of guests on, not only in person but via Zoom. But you're in a restaurant, and you're going to presumably be in a restaurant the next couple of days doing things. How do you feel about exposing yourself potentially to something or nothing, or like?
You take pause, you really do. And Jay, I can't speak for you. I'll speak for myself real quick, and then Jay, you can talk about it. But it's like watching the NBC nightly news, to where you feel like the walls are closing in on you. You can let that happen to yourself, and you can get yourself very anxious and the doomsday mentality, and because you don't know. I don't know whether I just got COVID right now by doing that. Sure. I don't know by touching you on the shore how you feel. I don't know about any of these things, but I do know, like I said, what my safety feeling is, what I will and will not do. Just like with you, Jed, you're like, I choose to do this. I'll take it off for a second. I'll go back to it. And I think my default point, I think is pretty safe. I'm not looking to, Jay's a different thing. He'll go out there and probably have casual relationships with people if he could, and get at a bar and, make out with a stranger or whatever. So Jay's anything goes. I'm not so. No, I'm just kidding.
Jealous.
Jay, how do you casual relations, right?
Not terribly far off, man. Not terrible. My situation is a little bit different because I don't have anybody to go home to. My mother's not here. My mother's in California. I'm alone. So basically the only person technically I'm worrying about, for the most part, is me. There's a chance that I could come in contact with somebody that's elderly, so it's not like I want to celebrate being alone.
Sure.
But I guess I worry about it a little bit less. Mentally I'm like, I could beat this thing if I unfortunately
worst
got it.
Case scenario.
43, I drink
it
some
is
vegetables.
Also murky, though, right? And to your point, I think that's a great point, but I still voraciously wash my hands. When I get home, I take my clothes off, I throw them in the bin, I hop in the shower. I want to make sure my home environment is very clean. I'm just trying to mitigate as much as possible.
And you've got a home environment that's a little different since all this started, right?
Oh, big time, yeah. So I've got a 3-week-old at home, 3.5-week-old at home. I've got a 2-year-old at home as well, a wife. And I'm immunocompromised. So for me, it's like a triple, quadruple whammy.
Wow.
I have a whole scrub down process when I get home. My home is my sanctuary. If I can't pick my nose on my couch, man, I'm not doing something right,
It's so true.
But, Jay made a really, really salient point, and I think that can't be overstated. and I'm going to extend his point somewhere else as well. As a restaurateur, we are a steward of the entire staff.
Yeah, right.
And if it were just me and my family, if it were me and my dad and my sister and maybe like one trusted staff member that were running the whole operation, yeah, I'm able to get out there and take some bigger risks. I can open early. I can put my license at risk if it's just me, right? But because I'm a steward of 25 families, 25 Denver families, right? They all depend on my actions to keep their income steady. And to me, political opinions aside, it's reckless to play with the lives of that many people when you decide to make a decision like that. When you stick your neck out like that, even if you have the buy-in of the majority of your staff, I still feel like it's reckless.
I'm not putting you at the doctor status, but Dr. William Blanchet was on for Boulder Internal Medicine. He joined us, and he said, listen, I said, have you gone out to eat yet? Here's the poll. Have you gone out to eat yet since Denver or since restaurants have opened? By the way, 70 say yes, 176 say no. So it's good to see the 70 that are going out to support restaurants. Doctor said, you know what, here's the deal is that I have other people to worry about besides myself. When I see my patients, I got to get a little bit intimately close to checking their ears and looking in their mouth. So I'm in a particular situation, just like you said, Jed, of you're trying to look out for not only yourself, but your collective.
Yeah, and it's real easy as a healthy 40-year-old man to be out there saying, if I get it, I get it. If I end up in the ICU, I'll fight it off or whatever. And it's easy to be loud that way too. But there's a lot of parents out there. There's a lot of folks taking care of their parents, their elderly parents that don't have that flexibility. They don't have that option. And I have to extend a moment of empathy and sympathy for folks in situations like that.
Interesting. You hear all kinds of stuff right now. Jason, somebody told me yesterday, depending on your political views is whether you'll go out and eat right now or not. That was so loaded. And I was like, man, I could go with you. But it's like, okay, what are you saying to me, right?
Yeah, I mean, it is unfortunate that it has become somewhat of a party line kind of thing. I mean, I generally am fairly liberal, right? And I'm out. I'm at a restaurant. I don't have a mask on. I recognize that Jed has a lot of things going on in his household, but he doesn't have a mask on. So I think we're also using common sense in this time that we need to be aware of our environment, what our safety feels like, and then what the people around us feel like. So I don't know that it should be a party line kind of thing. Yeah. I think that it's easy.
I think that's just to fuel things right now. People, I don't know why, but people want to fuel.
Well, there's a lot of downtime.
I think
and
you're right.
So you're often down a rabbit hole of, one side or the other, left, right, up, down, west, east, whatever. Listen, a lot of restaurants, much like Jeff's here at 20 Mile Tap House, much like Jed's and mine, we need support. And so we're here saying, support us. Yeah. Support us smartly, support us within the guidelines that we have going on. Jed's open. I'm not. We've decided that we're going to wait a little while until we open. Jed's like, let's do it. Jeff's like, let's do it. So there's always going to be this yin or yang. There's always going to be a little bit of give and take to start with. And I think we all kind of figure it out as we go. Sometimes there's risk involved with that. There could easily be something that comes up that we didn't anticipate, considering that you're open already and considering that I'm not open already. And so we just ask our guests to be patient. The new normal isn't normal. It still isn't normal. Yeah. And, no glass on the patio, no bottles, wine by the bottle only. There's just going to be a lot of things that people should just be flexible about. And whether that's dining in or outside or still taking to-go business, I think people they want to go out and support us, but they also want to be safe too. At the same time.
And I just want to jump on one point there. Your local restaurant, wherever it is, whatever it is, has the only staff that you interact with on a daily basis that is trained in infectious diseases, right? Like part of our certification is to be trained in hygiene, sanitization, and cleanliness. And that we are the group that got shut down the hardest is kind of crazy to me. Again, I'm not trying to branch out on any political topics, but your 16-year-old at Target, he does not have a ServSafe certification. I do.
Sure. Yeah, well, it was interesting yesterday. We zoomed over to Glendale and Sam's number 3 and had Alex Armada on with us. And as he was outside showing us what he was doing with that, and he's like, we're trying to get up, and it's a struggle. You guys know this.
Absolutely.
And then I get a glimpse of that Glendale King Soopers, and the parking lot is packed. And people are going in and out, and this huge corporation doesn't need any help to survive. And then here's this family-owned and operated bit bleeding.
Just begging for people to come through.
And then I'm at Nordstrom Rack trying on clothes, taking them off, putting them back on a hanger for someone else to come grab them. And not to just say they're apples, but just to say, this is what's happening right now with restaurants.
There's a conception or perception about being able to go into a Lowe's or Home Depot, King Soopers, Target. Listen, a lot of us have been to those places recently within this week, and a lot of us have family members that have visited those places, yet we are asked to limit our capacity, and those places that are limiting our capacity are very clean, oftentimes inspected 2 or 3 times a year by the health inspector. It is a juxtaposition of thinking about what that is. Mm-hmm. We do ask for you to come out and be supportive of us,
and
be
trust
patient,
us.
and to trust us. That's a good point.
But have you felt like collateral damage, like just an afterthought in a lot of ways, a backburn? And let's go further than that. Okay, so when the governor speaks and they're just alluding to if you drink more, you're going to have your lessened inhibitions. You're going to be more likely to lay on a dance floor with 14 people on top of each other, and so the point of that is that restaurants struggle. How about being a bar right now, to where you're pulling your pool tables out and you don't have food to serve, or you're a brewery that's trying to hustle and find a food truck for this night or that night, and you're put into a classification of even less important. But it's a business. It's a small business. They're all important. How do you get that pecking order?
We all are important, and we all have to try to pivot as best as we can in this situation. So if you're not out there thinking about how to maybe incorporate a small food element or to partner with a local restaurant or food truck, you're not doing your business a service to say, we're still here, we're still relevant. And I think that places like Piper Inn and like 20 Mile and even myself, we're trying to make sure that we're staying at the forefront of people's minds. If you are a bar, it is tougher. It really is.
Yeah. But you've made another really great point, and that is that, even bars, there are options for what has strictly been a bar in the past to get themselves open right now. There is an option out there. They have provision for that.
True.
So if you're not trying to pivot, you're doing yourself a disservice.
Okay, so how about D-Bolt right up the street? Do they have food? I don't know what their options
They do not have food yet.
Are you partnering with them?
Yes, we are.
Is that a good example?
It's a totally good example. So we have D-Bolt, we have Factotum, and then we have Wild Shanky, which is a cider company that opened up probably about 8 or 9 months ago before all of COVID happened. All 3 of them have reached out to me and said, hey, can we use you as our direct service food vendor? Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Not only is it
an absolutely, because is that reasonable for your money? If it didn't work for you, would you feel like you could say no?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like,
is it all for one for all right now? I mean,
no, I don't think so.
Okay.
I mean, I think if you've got that mentality, and I don't think that a lot of people do, but I think some people have had in this time a little bit of a turtle shell mentality, like, I don't know what's going to happen, I'm just going to wait it out and see, versus guys like us who are saying, let's be out there, let's try to figure out what makes sense for our business and our brand too, right? Mm-hmm. Business isn't always brand, but sometimes it is, and try to figure out what makes the most sense. So guys like D-Bolt and Factotum and Wild Shanky have all said, can we use you? And I think if you're a restaurant owner, you should be even reaching out to some of those places and saying, we'll provide food for you. there's a lot of restaurants that are next to breweries. You know, let's talk about like maybe South Broadway. There's a lot of South Broadway breweries that don't have food. Surely there's a pizza place. Surely there's an empanada place. Surely there's something next to you that you could say, could you provide us food so then we can stay open? And then maybe there's a reverse. They say, well, we'll provide you beer, you know, or vice versa. So I just think I think it shouldn't be all for one mentality. I think it should be like, how do we build up the collective? Because, you know, that tide raises all ships.
Yeah.
Listen, I just wouldn't want to be in the bar business. Yeah, one second. And not to belabor this, but maybe Gibby's isn't a good example because they're closed down anyway. But with that model of like, we do UFC fights, we're sports driven, we've got pool tables, we've got video games, we've Dave and Buster's. Right?
The game-based places. I pour one out for those guys. You know, the pool halls and the dart halls and the one-ups and
ultimately this will thin the herd, unfortunately, and we don't want to necessarily see that because we want the city to be thriving. And I know, Greg, you've been here for a long time, and you want to see it kind of grow, whether it's culinarily, you know, or just, you know, recreationally too. I don't know that it's necessarily going to do that because not all business owners are the same, you know. So there are going to be some people that will say, and that's not really worth it for me. You know, let's just throw the towel in and maybe we'll do something else. And then there are going to be others of us that continue to fight and continue to try and make the best of a worse situation.
I want to get back and see a crack of a bat or
oh man, that'd be awesome.
Football or
baseball guys.
I'm not a baseball guy. NHL's starting back up soon though, man. I could not be more excited.
Concerts. It's going to be an interesting future, you guys, and I don't know what the path is, but I sure know there's one thing, is small business. I love it so much. I do not want a cookie cutter big box store world in my life. I can't handle it. And I know, listen, the sky isn't falling. People will regroup. The entrepreneurial spirit doesn't just die because of that. It'll raise its head in a different form. But right now, man, it's interesting.
It's already a tough time before COVID, so it's not necessarily going to get any easier. But I think the people that are willing to put forth the extra effort will come out on the other end pretty well.
I hope so, man. I hope so. I hate seeing the national chains do well. You know, I hate it.
Drives you crazy, or me anyway. That's for sure. But I sure am enjoying being here at 20 Mile today and seeing what to me feels right. I don't want to say comfortable, just right.
Yeah.
I mean, this is the business, right?
Let's put it another way. It's a sight for sore eyes, man.
Yeah. Hey, did they open up? Not that either one of you guys would. Did they open up Shotgun Willie's? What does that look like? Jed's like, dude, I'm family man. Don't even go. Same with you, Jed.
I think they've got prime rib dinners. I remember them having some prime rib dinners.
Long time ago.
Didn't they used to do a buffet too?
Oh gosh, businesses are pivoting, man, and we're watching it happen right in front of our faces, guys. As always, anything you want to leave us with here that we didn't cover? What are you doing here? I get the pizza and the beer and the 2 years though, booze to go. What? That's going to be crazy. You can't turn back at that point.
2 years?
2 years is where the extension's going to come up. They're looking to.
Oh my goodness.
We'll be happy to do that.
I will stand alone, and I don't mind being the one voice in the room. I do not like booze to go.
You don't?
No.
Okay.
As a restaurant, it denies me an opportunity to sell them again.
Okay.
Right? If they have one in my building and then they take one to go, right? I had a chance to sell them again, right? It also denies me. It also denies me the opportunity to make sure that they're getting home safe, and both of those things are really, really important pieces to me. I would much rather they have all of their consumption in my building and give me the opportunity to sell them a plate of fries, sell them another beer, whatever.
I like that. But I do like the idea of being an adult that says, I want to support Jason or you, buy a six-pack to go, and that's where I'd rather put my money, and if that can extend on, I think that we have to be on the honor system and have to be adults sometime.
And we can deliver it. So if you were at home and not coming into my restaurant, but you wanted pizza, wings, and beer, then I could bring you booze. So that booze to go gives me the opportunity to deliver it to you where you weren't going to come in at all. So I might get a six-pack of beer. I might get 2 beers versus no beers.
Hey, I'm an ambiance place. People come into my spot. They do not get me delivery at all.
Yeah, that's true.
So, I acknowledge my position puts me in a different part of the conversation here. But I'm a little surprised how much widespread support there is for Booze to Go. I really am.
Because it's been so helpful.
Yes, during the shutdown,
it's been so
100% Booze to Go all day, every day.
Yeah.
But after keeping it as a permanent status, I'm much more weary of.
Yeah, and I think it's just, and honestly, if restaurants can come out of this to where you were making more money because you've gotten your delivery game better, you've gotten your takeout game better, you do have an extra curveball to throw out with the Booze to Go or delivery with that. If you guys can come out solvent and then ahead of the game, that's where I want you.
Yeah.
I mean, I really do. So
there aren't going to be a lot of us, but there'll be a few.
There'll be a few.
For sure.
The ones left standing.
Yeah.
I could ask you questions all day. I was going to ask you about, should you feel with the attrition that's going to be coming up here and kitchens open, is it bad to look at opportunity?
No. This is the most opportune time in the restaurant industry there's been for a long time. If you're looking at a second location, if you're looking at changing staff, upgrading staff, adding to staff, we've got a 20% unemployment market coming up. It'll be the most generous hiring market there will be for a long time.
Would you consider a Piper too?
You have in the past.
It has been considered in the past.
Yeah.
I think the brand has different forms of lateralization in it. I don't think a second location is the right form of lateralization.
Let's see what the real estate market, because you may see something go, hey, I just have to, right? You don't know what's going to be out there.
I don't know. I would love to do a collab with Jason or Jeff or somebody else down the road. I would love to do that.
Crush the Piper?
Yeah.
I don't mind the sound of that, actually. And listen, I'm generally of the mindset that two heads are better than one.
Yeah.
It's oftentimes you're on an island, right? I mean, you might have a long-term manager that's got a lot of good ideas that you can rely on and put a lot of faith in. But sometimes guys who haven't been around for 50 years sometimes need a little sounding board. And we have Larry and we have Greg and Jay and others. But it's also nice to have someone who's in the business, that understands the business, that sees someone walking in from the patio that has a lot of plates in their hands that needs some extra help. So literally there are some times where it feels as though you're on an island no matter how good your managers can be when you're an owner, and it'd be nice sometimes to have two heads. So, I mean, listen, we're looking at spaces. We're thinking about spaces. We're on the forefront of, maybe looking at a second concept even. But even a collab would be kind of fun. Maybe you heard it here first, Greg.
Hey, I might have sniffed something out there. Guys, thanks for being on the show, as always.
Our pleasure.
Good to see you, man. Good to see your face for the first time.
Yeah, thanks. Thanks, man.
I used to have a tab.
Oh, yeah. This is all I got left, man. I can't grow facial hair
You're
anymore.
patchy, too? Patchy here, patchy there?
I didn't used to be, but...
You didn't used to be?
No.
Okay. Immune system thing?
Yeah, it's an immune system thing, yeah.
I actually had alopecia, too.
Okay.
All right. Times, yeah. That damn immune system. Mine was they put a nickel plate, and I'm allergic to nickel, into my body. And so 7 years, it's just rotting in my body, and things are... But compromised immune systems are real, man.
That's
Take
a real
care
thing.
of yourself and your family.
Same to you, man.
Chet, good to see you. Piper Inn, Crush Pizza and Tap. Go visit these guys.
Go check this guy out.
Thank you.
We love you guys. All right, is Larry done? We're going to play a commercial. We'll figure out. It is 4 o'clock in the Mile High City, though. Probably just end the show. I think Larry sent you guys over, right?
He did.
Yep.
You were Larry?
Yeah.
All right. Play us a couple of commercials on the way out of town here, if you got them. Do you?
Yeah, I do. Hold on
All
a
right,
second.
fire one off there.
Do
And then tomorrow, I think we're going to be at the Stanley Marketplace. That'll be interesting to see what they do with all of that area.
Absolutely.
And they can capitalize on that outdoor stuff. But I'm not so sure the outdoor game is really where it's at, because what happens if you've increased your capacity outdoor and then you do get a downpour? You're not going to be able to just say everybody run inside.
I'm looking at all kinds of coverings.
Absolutely.
I'm looking at all kinds of rain and sun protection. I've been on Amazon all day.
Have you really?
Yep.
Damn it, I can't wait to see what you guys do. All right, play that, Jay, and then we'll get out of here.
You want to get out of here after, or you want to get out of here now and then play them?
We'll get out of here now, and then you'll play them. Thanks.
Okay.
See you tomorrow. The Modern Eater Show continues.
First, we partner with the best farmers in the world, and then we tell them, we will take it all. Process whole spices daily, blend custom spices to order, keep it fresh, safe, and flavorful, all so that you can get back to doing what you do best. So whether you're a restaurant, a food manufacturer, or an at-home cook, be sure to visit The Spice Guy at www.thespiceguyco.com. Hey there, Barbecue All-Star. This is your year, so what if you weren't drafted? The only draft you need to be worried about is actually spelled D-R-A-U-G-H-T, and it's adult for the word beer. It's barbecue season, baby. Now get out there and grill your ass off.
Hey, it's Zach, Colorado Mills. Many of you use this oil. Thank you. You're supporting a family-owned, farmer-owned, woman-owned company that supports 120 farms in southeast Colorado to grow the crop so we can produce this oil. So thank you. It's summertime, it's time for salads, it's time for dressings. Use this instead of extra virgin olive oil. It's got a cleaner profile, it's a healthier profile. It allows the herbs, the spices, the vinegars to really shine. So you can find it at Shamrock Foods, What Chefs Want, and Seattle Fish. Thank you very much.